Apple shares are down nearly 30% year to date as big tech has taken a beating this year. But our next guest is listing 6 reasons why Apple could be poised for upward momentum in 2023. Citi Managing Director and Senior Analyst Jim Suva joins us now. Jim, always great to get some time with you. At these valuation levels, is Apple just too silly cheap?
Brian, we believe so. That's why we have a $175 target price on it with a buy rating. We knew that the December quarter was going to be difficult given the supply chain issues. Look, if you wanted to buy an iPhone 14 for Christmas, they could meet that demand. They were sold out mostly because of supply that was curtailed from China. We have now seen, as you know, the importance of consensus expectations come lower. We were below consensus. Consensus has been moving lower. Now we believe a lot of that demand is going to be set up for a more stronger 2023. Yes, we like the stock here at these levels.
Jim, one of the reasons that you gave was India, specifically looking at the total addressable market in one facet, but then additionally, just the amount of market share that Apple could potentially take on there. And this, we should note, the mobile operating system market share in India is essentially 95% Android operating system. So what is it going to take for either the conversion and perhaps some of that market share take to come Apple's way? And what does the unserved market look like in that region?
So, Brad, that's a very smart and intelligent observation. Many people may not be familiar to note that, a decade ago when we were writing about Apple and China, we kind of noted that it was the same type of dynamics. And people were like, oh, the affordability of household income isn't there. And we're like, as China matures and develops as a country, we believe the same thing's going to happen with India. It may take a while. Importantly, as you import items that are produced in China into India, there's an import tax that makes then the iPhone and Apple products more expensive. This then hurts the demand for it. Importantly, Apple is setting up manufacturing in India. We believe that will help. There are 0 Apple stores in India today, none. You're fortunate in New York City and me in San Francisco to have Apple stores on a regular basis. It's a great experience. You go in, you think you're going to spend $600 or $700. You leave by the Apple employees convincing you that your friends and family are so beautiful and handsome. You need to buy more memory, Apple Cloud, and Apple Care. And then you walk out actually feeling good about spending more money. We believe next year that likely Apple is going to open its first India store and Apple store in India, and this will be huge, a lot of demand. We see India as a big driver where they have below 2% market share. So to answer your question directly, Brad, we believe once they set up production in India, they won't have to pay the import taxes. Then they'll be more price competitive. And then importantly, we see the Apple stores opening up as a great experience for consumers.
Jim, you just reminded me I need to go pick up 2 new high-margin phone cases from Apple later on, so thank you for that. But you also talk a lot in this report about new products, specifically an AR VR headset. What will Apple be doing here? Because I think the argument can be made that the glasses, the Oculus glasses that Meta have been a complete flop. They've just been too expensive here. What do you think Apple's going to do?
Many people who've followed Apple for a while kind of always knock them on not having the highest end, most newest physical technology. The reason why is they focus on the infrastructure and the entire operating system and the full experience of when hardware and software meet each other for a great consumer experience. What have they done? So far last year in June of 2022, or 6 months ago, they came out with their AR kit, where it allows teachers, educators, pilots, trainers, and a lot of the technicians and architects to build AR VR kits. So when you walk into your kitchen and you want to remodel it, or you're trying to go to pilot school, and instead of actually going on an expensive trip or a doctor, you can actually see the cadavers and the surgery in a more real-life experience without being there in person. They are now building the ecosystem. We believe building the ecosystem is critical to the success of that, and they have indeed been building out that ecosystem. So that's why we see now the hardware coming out later this year as a beneficiary and a positive, because so many of the infrastructure has been building those apps that will then make them more applicable for a real reason to buy the product.
What type of attribution do you believe that AR or VR could have to its services business?
Well, right now it's going to be de minimis, but when there's so much negativity around Apple not keeping up with other products, we view coming out with it will be a positive. We also believe in a year from now, we'll be talking about a foldable phone. Hey, won't that be great? Where on the top screen, I can be watching Yahoo Finance, and on the bottom screen, seeing the emails that you're actually emailing me about when I'm up on the next commercial. That will be a great experience for people. We believe flip phones or foldable phones with two screens that operate independently are going to be a big driver. The ones that are out there today are actually being received very well, but Apple wants to make sure that crease or that seam in between isn't faulty or create a suboptimal experience. So yeah, we expect AR VR to be a positive headline. It really won't move the numbers tremendously, but people will say Apple is still innovating, whether it be these AirPods or Apple tags when you lose your luggage, and I'm glad we're not traveling today. Those are type of more innovations that we see, and they eventually add up to a strength of an ecosystem that makes the reason why you want to go into Apple iOS more and more compelling.
Jim, I hear you're going to be at CES in about a week. Yahoo Finance, of course, is going to be there as well. From the big cap tech names that you cover, who do you think will have a home run CES?
Well, first of all, it's important to note Apple does not attend the Consumer Electronics Show in a public manner. Apple hosts its big event in June called the Worldwide Developer Conference. The companies that we do expect to be there are your typical PC and consumer electronic companies. We expect to hear about Christmas demand, how it was. And look, we expect it to be kind of soft. Unfortunately, people were stuck in airports. People were stuck on the road with adverse travel. People were stuck with snowstorms. And with inflation, let's say Santa Claus had just a little less money to spend this year. So we expect people to be a little bit more interested in the innovative products that will be announced. We don't know what they are until they come out, but they will be announced at CES next year. And we're looking forward to seeing your team there.
All right, Jim. Flat screen or foldy screen, I'll still find a way to crack it for sure. Citi Managing Director in Equity Research, Jim Suva, joins us this morning. Thanks so much, Jim, and Happy New Year to you as well.